declaration of independence then set the timer on the Kosovo Protection Corps closing. The KFOR leadership needed to make some very quick decisions about that. They didn't. They compressed the timelines, which then put pressure on the formation of the Kosovo Security Force, which was happening at the same time. And, and it was a real mess. And I was absolutely part of it. And as I said, on the one hand, trying to steer and guide the Kosovo Protection Corps through what was coming down from KFOR, but at the same time, I was still having to do that role and be that very strong connection with KFOR headquarters and the Kosovo Protection Corps, because the people who were essentially going to be forming the nucleus of the new security force, they were having to go through a selection process to be considered for that. And so pressure was everywhere. And so, yes, when towards the end, as ever, with great stories, towards the end, things started fraying a little bit at the seams. And yes, I think anybody who reads the book will see that I've been really honest about the impact that 6 months had on me, but also the impact that I knew I was operating essentially off reservation. But I did that knowing.
When I read the book, I felt this frustration and it's the same frustration that I feel when I hear things about that I feel when we're talking about Kosovo today, when we're hearing about what's going on and what KFOR has said, or what the EU has said, or what the US has said, or you have to do this, you can't do this, you can't. And I feel this frustration. I feel like there's people sort of standing in the way of progress, and through maybe nefarious reasons, but also ignorance as well, not really understanding the situation or having their own political interests of things. And I felt that same frustration that I do when I read the news sometimes about what's going on in Kosovo. I wanted to ask you as well now, do you think there are still issues within KFOR? I mean, I know this is speculation, but do you see things have improved? Do you think it really has Kosovo's interests at heart? I mean, we had that situation in the north not last September, the September before, where there was nearly a huge terrorist attack, and it happened under the noses of KFOR. So I'm wondering, what's your perception of their role now?
Oh, I think they've got a really important role to play in the country, and they've got a very important role to play in terms of deterrence. And I think because it's a much slimmed down organisation now compared to when I was there, there were thousands more troops on the ground when I was there, and unnecessarily so in my view. And I think I've said that I said that in the book. But they have a very important role. But also at the same time, the Kosovo Security Force, which started with such relative humble beginnings, and you've read the book, so you know how it was on day one. Really, they've turned themselves into an incredibly professional force, and so much so that their individuals are attending overseas training courses and becoming top student, for example. They have had instructors joining other really very well-known militaries, delivering support in the effort towards supporting Ukraine. And so there's a recognition that the quality of the individuals in the Kosovo Security Force is really very high and is getting better all the time.